What is going on, guys? Al Bunny back again with a gameplay commentary, and today's topic is the censorship and age restriction of video games in two different, totally different countries. One of them, North America, the United States, and the other, Southeast Asia, South Korea. And they're two separate instances where two entities are imposing their restrictions on gamers. And I'll start with Nintendo of America. Recently, a downloadable content map for Fire Emblem on the 3DS was released here in North America, and unlike the version that was released in Japan, the Fire Emblem downloadable content map here in North America was censored. And it's not complete nudity. In fact, it's a girl in what appears to be a bra and panties, and or I can't really tell because I am looking at it right now. It could just be a swimsuit. I can't really make it out because you can't see it. I mean, you can't even really see it very well. But certainly, it's not something that you'd normally censor in a game because it's not full frontal nudity. It's not, it's not even half nudity. It's just, it's a woman in I suppose you could call it provocative clothing, but it's not to the point where, I mean, it's gonna, cause controversy if you don't censor it, and the game is rated T. It's not, it's not rated E for everyone. Certainly a teenager can handle, something like this, a girl in a swimsuit, or, her, bra and panties. And it's not, again, it's not full frontal, you can't, it's a girl's butt, basically, and, partial, side boob. And, yes, younger gamers are probably going to get their hands on this game. It's, here in North America, we do have the, the ESRB, or is that what it is? I think it's ESRB ratings, for to restrict who buys, what games, to keep it age appropriate. But that's easily solved because it's not completely, universally imposed. Where if you walk into a GameStop, they're gonna immediately, if you're like 14, 15, I seriously doubt they're gonna ask you for an ID, or they're not gonna allow you to buy a game that's rated M. This happens every year with Call of Duty. Let's be honest. There's 8-9-year-old kids playing Call of Duty, and probably their parents had something to do with it. But again, it's not universally, monitored. Really, it's not. It's not imposed. Strictly. It's not strictly imposed. But it's something that you have to second guess by Nintendo. Does it take away from the game at all? By placing a piece of cloth over her butt, because that's what they did here in the North American version. Does it take anything away from the game? No, but it does leave you thinking that that's pretty silly. That they would uncensor this in Japan, and by uncensor I mean not put a piece of cloth over her butt. And it's not, it's a concealed butt to begin with. She's not nude. So it is kind of silly that they would do this. And that's the first part of this commentary. The second part, I'm going to try to keep this short because I don't want to go on and on and on and on and on about it. But in South Korea, apparently, they're actually trying to pass a law where if you're under 18, you cannot use the PlayStation Network in all its entirety unless you're 18 or over. And I'm not sure why they would do that. I mean, it really makes absolutely no sense. They're limiting the potential customers first of all, and that's pretty detrimental to Sony, of course. And South Korea actually has something already in place that's called the shutdown law, where it prevents gamers under the age of 16 from gaming late at night. It's a 6-hour block apparently, where late at night, if you're under the age of 16, you cannot play video games. And this is normally left up to the parents. If your parent allows a child, because really anyone under the age of 16 is a child, a really young teenager, to game, so be it. That's the parent's decision. I don't understand the reasoning behind restricting the freedom of a parent and child, mostly the child, from gaming late at night. And now they're trying to limit anyone under the age of 18 from accessing the entire PlayStation Network, not just the more mature themed games, the entire PlayStation Network store. They're trying to restrict anyone under the age of 18 from accessing it. This is potentially, I mean, it's really detrimental to Sony, limiting their customer base in Japan's neighbor, South Korea. And South Korea is probably a really big customer when you think about it, because Microsoft does not have a very big install base of 360s and 360s in Southeast Asia at all. So the biggest customer for the biggest manufacturer, I should say, for Southeast Asia is Sony, PlayStation. So they're really limiting Sony in sales and potential customers. And I don't know what Sony's gonna, because Sony does have an office, or not an office, but a branch in Korea, where I'm sure they're not gonna completely they're not gonna agree with this, obviously. And in the bigger picture, what it really means is that they're trying to they're gonna limit this to PSN Plus users only, because you're gonna need a credit card. Eventually, starting May 16th, apparently, you're going to need a credit card. And if you're under 18, that's just not going to happen, unless, you somehow have your parents' permission. But it really is going to limit the amount of users overall on the PlayStation Network. And, it's not going to help Sony with the PlayStation 4. That's very it's on the horizon. So this is going to be really detrimental to Sony and their South Korean branch. But if you guys want to go ahead and weigh in on this, any of these two topics, please do so in the comments section. I'm always glad to respond to your comments. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am out.
Whatever the words and without a map, listen to the sounds, I found a track. Got my sword and ocarina, defend off hordes of awful demons. If you're gonna think you can get